melted it down, you get 1 inch of liquid. Oh, that was horrible. I just got snow in the face. Oh, it's like chasing with your brother. Honestly, we are like brother and sister. Oh my god. Oh my god, somebody just, did they just get an accident?
Yeah, we just about got hit by a car.
Oh my god, it just knocked this beam off this porch. He came around this corner.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Hey man, are you okay?
Are you okay?
Yeah, we're okay because we moved out of the way. But like this post came off, so maybe we should talk to the store owners.
Yeah, something. But you guys okay? Yeah, we're fine.
We work for the Weather Network. We're actually doing a Facebook Live right now, and
there's your mirror. Okay,
there's your mirror. Oh my god.
Yeah. You guys okay? Yeah, we're okay.
So apparently I wasn't the only one that caught a crash on camera. I think they kind of overreacted a little bit to this, and I don't think it was all that close, but of course, you know, that was my opinion. And I know things tend to look farther away than they are in some cameras, such as mine. But anyways, I thought this video was funny, and it just kind of made me laugh. So, here's your mirror. Thanks, I'll go glue it back on. So, I thought that was kind of comical. So apparently this wintry weather is going to come to an end soon. We got a series of weather fluctuations will be seen in southern Ontario this week, putting the chance for a white Christmas at risk. The temperatures will remain windy and above seasonal until midweek, creating the opportunity for some of the remaining snow to melt. Sub-zero temperatures will return Thursday, followed by a Friday system that could bring a mix of snow and rain to the area. This has the potential to make a mess of roadways and slow down commutes across the region. Depending on temperature, it could also wash away additional snow. Now, this is the problem I have with winter. If it starts to snow and keeps snowing all the way through, I probably wouldn't hate winter as much as I do. But when we get constant freeze-thaw, it really creates havoc. And if you don't get your laneway or walkways or whatever cleaned out properly, then things start to melt, and then when they refreeze, it's like rock hard, and it just kind of makes the next snowfall all that much harder to clean up. So you just kind of got to do what you got to do right away, and if there's a thaw coming, just make sure everything's cleaned up properly, because there's no guarantee it's all going to melt, and then if it refreezes, well, you're good to go, right? But there's a bigger threat that comes with this, and I'll get to that a little bit later. For now, we got rain, drizzle actually, not heavy rain or anything, just light rain, really light drizzle, and heading out to Walmart to find out who's working nights, who's the manager that is for working nights, because we need moving boxes. And Walmart is normally my source. When we put recycling out at the curb, we have paper and cardboard now. We just put it in a cardboard box. We don't use a blue box for that. So they just pick up the box and just throw it in the truck, and away we go. So I usually go out to Walmart to get it. And when I was working nights there, I knew that lunch break is 3 o'clock in the morning. So I talked to the manager, whoever's on nights at the time, and tell him, save some boxes for me, and we'll show up at lunch. And grab the boxes, and away we go. So that's what I'm doing today, heading out there to find out who's working. I'd rather go in person, because if it's a new manager that doesn't know me, I'd like him to see me, so when 3 o'clock comes along and he sees me sitting outside, he knows who I am. So that's why I just rather do it and not call it in. So that's what I did today. I head back out. Got the trailer all hooked up, and not raining at the moment, but it was raining shortly before I left, and everything's wet, and in some places it's really slick looking. It looks pretty icy. And it's really strange pulling into Walmart at night, because there's only a few cars in there. They just got a small night crew, and it's just weird seeing the parking lot dark and no traffic. no cars parked in there. Of course, I'm kind of used to it, because working nights you see that all the time, but it's just if you're used to seeing parking lot full and lights everywhere, and you know, it seems kind of strange. Now, I mentioned earlier about the other hazards that the meltdown and the rain poses. Yeah, I'll talk about that one. Now I'll explain what I meant by that. During snowy periods, the snowplows go out, and they plow the snow off the highways, and the salt gets dropped down, and that's normal activity. But the problem is the back roads. Gravel roads will get plowed off, but they don't drop salt on them. And you can imagine why. You know, you get quite a muddy mess once everything starts melting, and that poses its own risks. So they don't get done. So basically, if it stays cold all winter, the roads freeze up. They kind of have an ice base to them, and the graders that go through, they kind of have teeth on the blade, so it kind of cuts grooves in the road surface. It kind of helps you get grip, I guess you could say. But if we get a period of freezing rain, they're always the first ones to freeze up, and they're pretty scary to drive on. And the other issue is the actual paved roads that are not actual highways, the side roads that are paved, they'll get plowed, but they don't always drop salt on those either. So, you know, as you drive on them, it gets packed down really hard. Now, when it warms up like this, the surface will melt, and we get rain or whatever, then you get this layer of water on top, and it makes for a really slick, icy surface. And this is generally when the problems occur, not the actual snowstorms themselves or the freezing rain themselves. It's the meltdown that causes the problem. Because if you're driving down the highway on a rainy night like this, when it's warm and wet, the highways are wet themselves, but they're not slippery. And if you turn onto a back road, you're not really prepared for a change in road surface. So you just kind of gotta watch for that. So here's the issue. After I got back with the boxes, Zach couldn't sleep. He wanted to go out for a drive. Now, in Canada, we have a graduated licensing system. When I got my license back in the 80s, I got my beginners, cost me like $20 or whatever. That allows you to drive supervised with another licensed driver, adult driver, and then you go and get your full license. Well, the way they do it now is there's 3 different levels to the beginners. I think, anyways. There's 3 different levels. I'm not sure if it's just level 1, level 2, level 3, and then your full license, or if it's 1, 2, and then your full license. I'm not sure, but I know there's 3 levels in there somewhere. And each one allows you to do a little bit more. The whole idea is to get experience before you get your full license and allowed to drive by yourself or whatever. So, Zach was at the 2nd level, and he went to do his driving test, and the instructor went to get in his car, and the passenger door handle stuck up when she lifted it, and instantly he failed the test, which I don't think is right. And in order to do the test again, he'd have to pay again to do that test. And to me, I don't see that as a safety issue, but that's what they called it. It was a safety issue with the car. It had nothing to do with your driving ability or anything, so I think that's bogus, but that's me. So anyways, what had happened is he'd lost all of his license. They didn't just, keep him at that level, they dropped him down. So he wasn't able to drive without a licensed driver with him. So on this night, he was up, I was up, he wanted to go for a drive, so okay, we'll go for a drive. So, we're out cruising around, and this is something I used to do when I lived farther south. My friend and I would go for night drives all the time. And even Christmas, when I go down to visit my parents, I'd stop at his place. We'd go for a Christmas Eve tour, and then, get a couple hours of sleep or whatever. And then I'd hop in my own car, and I'd go visit my parents, and then go back home. So, I'm just, night driving is nothing new for me. So we were out cruising around for a while, and turned onto this back road, and it was fine. It's a paved road, and the first quarter mile, I guess, was normal. It was just like the highway, it was wet. And all of a sudden we got into this section, and all of a sudden it was just hard-packed, icy, and bumpy, and just so slick. And I wasn't expecting it, so I was still doing highway speed, and then all of a sudden the back end started coming out on me. And I've had this happen before. Most of my cars, I guess you could say, have been front-wheel drive, so I know what to do when the back end moves. The problem is, I'm used to driving an automatic, and this car is a standard. So, you know, as soon as I let off on the gas, the car started slowing down, which brought the back end out even further. So, kind of caught it, and the back end came out the other way, and I just fishtailed a few times. I'm not even sure how many times. And next thing you know, we're sliding sideways towards a ditch. It's like, oh no. So, I'll tell you, I've been in a few accidents, but all the experiences I've had, nothing hurts as much as an instant direction change. And as soon as we hit the ditch, the car just like basically turned 90 degrees, and ouch, it really hurt. But Zach got a cut on his knee. That was the only real injury. But I wasn't so much upset that I crashed. I was more upset that I crashed his car. I have never had a problem with anybody else's car. You know, all the incidents I've had have been with my own vehicles, and this really affected me emotionally. I was so upset by this. So, everything else that's been going on, my depression started way back when I had a problem with the Monster's motor, and things that just kept happening and kept happening and kept happening, deepening my depression. This was the big one for me. This is what totally did me in. And to make things worse, I already mentioned, you know, I've been having financial difficulties trying to keep up with everything. And to make matters worse, I got charged. I got fined. I don't remember what it was now. Normally this type of accident comes with a careless driving charge, and that's something you don't want on your insurance record, because insurance companies don't like that, and you pay major, you know, amounts after that. So it's something you don't want. But the cop was nice. He saw my impeccable driving record, and I told him exactly what happened, and I told him, you know, I was going too fast. I wasn't expecting the road surface to change, and he was impressed with my honesty, I guess. So he charged me with the smallest charge that he could. And I'm trying to think of what it was. Something not staying between painted lines or something like that. Even though there's no lines on this road, but that was the least charge that he could give me. And the fine was just over $100, I think. Plus, I had to pay for towing. So, yeah, this was quite a night for me. And I don't really have anything else for this video, so I'll just kind of end on this note. And a little bit cheery, a little cheerier after this.
Oh look, a salt truck.